Call Dan Cassette.
Here.
Bob Zerg.
Here.
Bob Kleppel.
Here.
Kevin Creedy.
Here.
Nick Overmark. Jeff Packey. Tessie Steffens.
Here.
Sparky Stuckenschneider.
Here.
Debbie Todebush. Dave Waymeyer.
Here.
Betty Werner. Gavin Woolley.
Here.
Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First thing on the agenda is the approval of the minutes.
Are there any corrections or anything to the minutes?
Any corrections? Anything?
I'll make a motion, we accept.
A second.
Okay, motion by Gavin, second.
Second.
Second by Bob Zerg. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Parks report, Wayne?
Parks report, lots of stuff going on. Last meeting, Bob possibly asked about benches at the dog park. I think I informed you guys that we had them in. They were ordered and paid for, but they weren't assembled. They are now assembled, and the Lions gave us some, because the Lions are donating the benches, gave us some pretty large bronze logos to put on them, like on the back. Initially, we thought they would work out pretty well, but I've contacted them this week. I think we're going to need something different because I think someone's going to get hurt if they sit down too hard or too fast. I think it's going to rub their back raw. So they were more of like a 3D logo, bronze logo type thing, instead of like just a flush, flat surface thing. So I think what we're going to do, I talked to Chad about it. I think we're just going to go ahead and install the benches out there and then work with them to get the logos on whenever they can get us something. So that's going on. Doing a lot of smaller in-between weather issues and things like that, and the holidays doing a lot of smaller maintenance tasks, which we don't always get done. Some of this stuff has been on our list for quite a while, so it's good that we're getting some of these things done. We also, just a little update, we're almost finished with disc golf, installing the pads. All the concrete pads have been poured. For the back nine, the part that's in the woods, we kind of changed what we were doing. The front nine, what's on top of the landfill, was all poured on site in place there. The back nine, because of weather issues and things like that, mainly because we thought we could get it done quicker, we did 2 very large pours, concrete pours, at the park shop, and we formed up and poured all these T-pads at the park shop. And now we're just delivering them on site. We're excavating digging out where it goes, filling it with base, gravel and everything, and then setting it in place and backfilling. And that seems to be working pretty well. And we don't have to worry about weather so much, just other than making sure it's not too muddy over there. So we got about half of them installed on the back nine within the last couple weeks. So moving right along, I'll be happy to clear that one off the books. Tree trimming, stump removal has begun. We did a lot of work in Krog last week before we got the ice and the snow and stuff like that, because we had to use a big bucket truck to get in there. And we didn't want to cut ruts through the park. And then we have quite a big list of different trees that need attention. One area we're going to focus on this year is the main park, old pool building, new pool building, and Echo Camp Park. There's a lot of older trees in there with some deadwood and stuff like that. Try to get that whole area in Ronzik Field, get that whole area looking real nice for the opening of the pool and things like that. So, along with a lot of the other hazard trees and stuff that we have marked as priorities throughout the park system. Next week, Monday and Tuesday, which is why I have to miss the American in Bloom meeting, Robin, myself, and Jim Durbin are getting certified as pool operators. So we have an instructor coming here to teach us this course for us to get certified. And then we're also, I think, 2 people from Union are attending, and 1 person from Springfield, Missouri is driving up for it. So staff will be, 3 of us will be doing that on Monday and Tuesday of next week. And then we're also, this time of year, we're starting to prepare for summer with hiring, trying to figure out hiring. So we will be running, I had a discussion with Darren Lamb months ago. We're going to be running the pool concession stand in-house this year with our own staff. And so we need to be hiring soon pool cashiers, concession stand workers, seasonal park maintenance workers, an intern, hopefully if I can find one, and possibly a part-time staff person for the office.
Will we be doing pool maintenance, daily cleaning in-house?
No, not, well, we're working through that right now. We'll still have to go out to bid for contract for lifeguards, and in the past that was included in that. We would like to do some of that in-house. We think we're capable. That's what I'm working on right now. I'm trying to get some numbers together from the pool company, the company that's building the pool, and then our old lifeguard company last year, on just some estimates on what they think it might cost to run the pool this year. And then I was going to tell you here in a little bit, in a different part of the report or the meeting, that Darren Lamb, so we're starting to think about new pool fees too. And in order to do that, we kind of need to have a fairly decent idea of what it's going to cost to run the pool. So Darren asked Tessie and Sparky and myself and Robin and Casey, I think that's it, to get together once I get some numbers from the pool company on what it's going to cost to run the pool, and get together and then look over these new pool fees. Staff and I have started working on some of these. Staff, they've compiled a kind of a survey or a document with a lot of other area pool fees, what the other places are charging around the area. And we'll have some new things to consider, like birthday party packages and things like that we haven't done in the past. So the plan is, right now, and this could change a little bit, but is to, once I get that information and digest it from the pool companies, then Sparky, Tessie, the rest of us sit down, come up with some fees. Like I said, I think we're well on our way to where we need to be, unless there's some huge change in the cost how much it's going to cost us to run the pool. We may have to bump up possibly our next park board meeting from the first Wednesday, and I had that wrong in the email last night, from the first Wednesday in February to the last Wednesday in January. So we could, so this fees committee could present our findings and recommendation to you all. And then on, I'm not sure what day it is, the first Wednesday or Monday in February, which I think is the first. Yeah.
February 1st.
We would present it then, if you guys were in agreement then, Park Board, myself, and Park Board would make the recommendation to the council on the pool fees. So with that said, that last Wednesday in January, I think is the
27th?
27th. Would anyone have any issue with bumping up the meeting, our park board meeting, by a week to that Wednesday?
No.
Fine.
Looks like everyone's nodding for the most part, so that's good. So I think that's
Send out a reminder.
okay, yeah.
Several.
Be nice.
When?
So that would be the plan. Hopefully I can get everything that I need from other people to kind of follow that timeline. And then, because we need to start the push now. I sat down, we were working on this week, and I called Darren, we talked about it, and we need to start advertising our fee. Like, we got a few calls at Christmas time about gift certificates and stuff like that, but like come February, we need to start pushing, start marketing this pool and things like that. So that's kind of what the push is. I think that's it. How did I get, was that part of my report, or did someone ask I can't even remember how I got there.
Gavin asked a question.
Gavin.
Oh, okay.
Gavin screwed it up.
All right. As usual.
Sorry.
All right, next on On the agenda, communications from the audience, and there's nobody out there. So we go to old business, the new aquatic facility.
So the facility's coming along very well. They're approximately a month ahead of schedule because we've had good weather. So you might not see a whole lot going on outside right now, not because it's super cold, but they're doing a lot of painting inside, drywall work. I think they are doing some. I haven't been out there in the last day or two. They were supposed to be putting in the tile work on the perimeter of the pool, like kind of where the water sets. We call it like the scum line. That area all around the perimeter of the pool will have like a strip of, it's about 6 inches of tile. They were supposed to start putting that in, I think, this week. So things are moving along out there real well. So it'll be here quicker than we know. And so staff and I are working on, there's a few things we need yet to purchase, some stainless steel concession stand tables and some smaller concession stand items, equipment and things like that. So working through all that. But that's it for the new Aquatic Center. Does anyone have any questions about that facility?
Have you been pleased with our liaisons, that we hired, at the beginning of the pool project as far as, the design build? Everything been going smooth?
Yeah, everything's been going smooth. There's been a few hiccups here and there, but I was talking to Ryan Casserly, the owner of Westport, or the president of Westport, recently, and with the few hiccups we had with the rock at first, and then finding the old pool walls, a few things like that, I mean, he really thought that would set us back quite a ways, and he's pleasantly surprised how well we're doing as far as the timeline goes. With any project, there's little hiccups here and there, and sometimes, things get, I wouldn't say heated, but people, things don't always go the way they're supposed to. And I think from where we are right now, I think everything, we've gone through some of those things, and they tend to work themselves out. So I'm happy with the way things are going. COVID, with that whole COVID thing, that did throw a wrench in there real quick. Communication was still going on, but it was, as we kind of went through some, especially this fall, when things kind of start spiking up again, like all spring and summer, we were fine as far as the workers out there. But this fall, it really took a toll on some of the skilled labor that was going on out there. So even some of the superintendents and stuff were out, but they're out. I think they're all back now. So,
Wayne, what is the official opening day? Is that going to be the Saturday before Memorial Day, or?
Yes, that weekend we would open that weekend. What? The 28th?
28th or 29th? Because doesn't that actually coincide with the founding of the city of Washington as well?
Oh, wow. We're going to have a big celebration out there. Yes, it would be Saturday. It looks like Saturday the 29th. We would be open. And I'm sure we'll have some kind, I was just thinking about that this week, some kind of grand opening celebration thing. So.
Okay.
29th, I think.
Any other questions, comments? Next is the fee revisions, and you've already talked about that.
I talked a little bit about that. We are, someone asked, I can't remember who it was last time, about park benches, especially down on the trail. I'm very close to finalizing that. I did a lot of work on that this week. I was hoping to have something to you here tonight, but it just didn't come to fruition. But I should have something probably out to you guys, maybe emailed out to you guys later this week. And then we can get going on that. So I'm looking forward to crossing that one off my plate too. And then once we do that one, we got to do the trees, and then that'll be, all our memorial stuff will be set then. So, and then as far as soccer, Sparky, I know we talked about that, a few of it. That one I haven't gotten to yet, and I don't know that I will before their before their spring season starts. So I got to figure out what we're going to do there. But it is on my radar. But with the pool, there's a lot of these things coming up with the pool now. that are kind of taking up a lot of my time. But we still do have plans. There are a few other athletic field fees. We need to get some kind of tournament fee for baseball in place before these teams start playing in tournaments in St. Louis and get kicked out of St. Louis and want to come out here and start playing. Like I said, I mentioned that in the past that we didn't really have anything set up last year, so a lot of these tournaments were able to happen for like pennies on the dollar compared to what they would be charged in St. Louis. So do want to get to that yet this spring too. But I think that's it for fees.
Any questions there? New business, the main park playground netting.
So we have ordered netting. I believe we've ordered the poles for the netting. I sent out, I don't know when that was, maybe around mid-December, a picture. Chad and I went up there and kind of spray painted in the mulch a line with kind of two X's, a starting and stopping point up there. It's about 75 feet long, and that would shield that side of the playground from, hopefully, from some foul balls up there. I don't think it's going to stop all of them. I mean, I would have to put a net up to the heavens, I think, to stop quite a few, most of them. But I do think it'll stop some of them. The plan is to have it be about 75 feet long. The poles are 30 feet long, and the net would be about 10 feet off the ground then going up on the pole. So it'd be tall enough off the ground that you could walk under and not decapitate yourself or anything like that. And that should stop some of them. We just don't know. I know they get a lot of foul balls that kind of lollipop over there. Not so many that are line drives because on that side of the field, well, it's right field, but you got to hit it like just right between the concession stand and the tree and the dugout and all that stuff to kind of. That's why we're trying to go up as high as we can with it. I wanted to try. I think I mentioned this before. I wanted to try this out to see how it works. I think it's a good starting point. And if we have to put maybe more netting up over there, attach it to the grandstands or something like that, or to the dugouts on that side, we can look into that also. I did look into a little bit shade, like kind of like a big shade type structure thing over the top of it, but they're like super expensive. And I was having the vendor I contacted. It was actually the playground vendor, this company that put in the playground. Their requirements were that the poles had to be, I can't remember the exact distance above the playground, but it was really tall above the playground. Really tall. And so those poles were going to be really expensive then. So the whole thing was just really expensive. So we went with this net option, and I'm hoping that'll work some.
Okay.
Did anyone, I haven't been out there. I imagine the pink pit's probably gone. I can remark it if you guys want to take a look at it, like how long it is and everything. Go ahead.
Wayne, what is the netting material? How's that constructed?
I haven't seen it. We ordered it. It's similar to the netting that we have at Ronzik around the grandstands and everything.
At Runsick? Oh,
So it's small enough so baseball wouldn't go through it.
okay.
Any other questions, comments, concerns?
Wayne, I only have one question, because you mentioned it. The mulch, is that gonna go away this spring?
Yes.
Or are you too busy to?
No, and those old playgrounds are going away too. And so Chad and I were just talking about that this week. We want to do the playgrounds maybe in the next couple of weeks when it gets really cold, when there's not a ton of people up there. Rip those out. And then we do have some sidewalks and stuff to put in there. So that's the plan. Once we get done with, right now our big project is getting these T-pads in over at Disc Golf. And then we'll come back over this way and start, as weather allows. I want to finish up that playground before spring. Because we still want to have, I think the mayor's on board, like a kind of a grand opening type thing too. So, but yeah, the mulch is not permanent.
Well, I knew that, I just didn't know if you were gonna have time to get to it.
No, we need to, because otherwise it's gonna be a muddy mess, and like, once we start getting all this rain and stuff in the spring, it's gonna be out of control.
Have you been able to address the grade issue on the fall save?
We looked at that, Chad and I did, and twice. I looked at it twice, and he probably looked at it at least twice too. I talked to the vendor about it, and she sent it to her people. I didn't get real far with her, and I do probably owe her a follow-up call. I've kind of been waiting for it to rain a whole lot again. We haven't had a ton of rain since you, that was at Thanksgiving time, I think, that you sent me the picture.
So you haven't been able to see it when it's really puddled?
I mean, I had the picture you sent. No, I haven't. Not in person, though. But I know where they were, because after you sent the picture, probably about 2 weeks after you sent the picture, I went up there and I had your picture and I was walking around and you could still feel it under the
Visibly.
rubber. So we think a lot of that, or we think some of it is due to our grading there. Chad and I looked at that, and so we think we should be able to correct some of that with sidewalks and things like that when we do the finished grade. I do think that's what I need to follow up with the vendor on. I think there could be some low spots under the rubber surfacing too, and so I need to get some clarification on how to handle that, or because I don't think they're going to go away, and I doubt that this is the first time this has occurred. So I just need to find out how to handle that. So in case you guys don't know, Gavin, it was around Thanksgiving, sent me a picture of the playground. We'd had inches of rain that
Yeah,
day.
there had been a lot of rain.
A lot of rain, and that was right about the time we had just finished that, grading all that and putting the mulch down and everything. And there was a lot of standing water on the biggest play feature with the slide and everything on there. That biggest rubberized surface area had a decent amount of standing water on there, which surprised me. And so Chad and I have been looking at, that's what we were talking about, looking at the grades of the dirt and everything there. And like I said, I think we can correct a lot of it with sidewalks and doing a good finished grade. But I will follow up with the vendor. I have a note on my desk to do that, so.
Right. Any other questions for Wayne on that subject? Next is the contractual mowing for 2021.
I just wanted to, I don't know if I had mentioned this in the past. We did go out, the plan was not for this to happen, to go out for contractual mowing this year. When refuge went away, the refuge department went away and got contracted out, the city was very conscious about not wanting to lay off those staff members, employees. And so they were absorbed into various other departments. And Parks was supposed to get 2 employees around October 1st. One of them wound up leaving like right before October 1st, and so we only received 1 employee. The deal with that is that we were going to receive 2 employees, and then all the contractual mowing, which last year was our final year of that contract, going into 21, then we would do all mowing in-house because we'd have 2 additional staff members to do it. So when we didn't receive the additional employee from Refuge, we went out looking for it. We advertised for an employee, and we didn't receive very many. We only received 4 applications, and none of them looked very good. And then Chad and I started running the numbers on some equipment that we were supposed to purchase in addition to this, because we'd have 2 then mowing routes, like an east mowing route and a west mowing route. And so we were going to have to purchase a mower and a trailer, and then having an additional staff member, the price of taking on an additional full-time staff member with benefits. Once we ran all those numbers and I presented it to the city administrator, we realized that it was cheaper for us to go out contractually for Parks and the fire department's properties this year. And then we'll reevaluate it next year. But at least for this year, we're saving about over $17,000 by just contracting it out. And that's mainly because we're not purchasing equipment, a couple pieces of equipment, and then that full-time staff member. So I just wanted to make you guys aware what's going on there.
Has that contract been awarded then?
It was, we had is Clay Camp lawn service here in town. When we bid it out last year was the first year, they gave us pricing for 3 years. And so it was still good. Even though, that was nice of him, I have to say, even though we cut the contract in half, probably in half, because streets then and water department, they also had additional properties on the contract last year. They received additional manpower from the refuge department and had already bought some equipment and things like that too. So they're going to mow their own properties with their own equipment and their own staff. And so Clay Camp, so they like I said, it cut the contract just about in half or close to it. And he said he would still honor it, even though he had a lot less properties to mow. He didn't raise pricing or anything, so. I thought that was nice. It was kind of a surprise to me.
Very good. Any other questions concerning that? The PNR Commission Orientation Manual?
Yes, this is a little project that Tessie and Sparky and staff, Robin and Casey and myself have been working on since the fall. And we never had anything like this that I know of, or I guess it maybe has been a really long time.
Long time ago.
That like when new staff members, such as Bob or anyone else that comes on the board, that may not be accustomed to how the board functions. This manual here, and like I said, it's a draft. There could be some spelling mistakes and spacing issues and things like that, but at least the content that's in here is kind of what we want, what we're looking for maybe a person that really has no experience with a park board, just kind of how a park board works, what you should be concerned about, who the key players are in the department and for the city. Even it kind of goes into like the org chart and kind of how to run a meeting, or how a meeting is run, I should say. And then the different kind of other, other councils, other groups or commissions that fall under the Parks and Rec Department, such as the Urban Forestry Council, American in Bloom Committee, and then it's got all our park facilities and kind of a lot of the amenities that are in them, along with the acreage. And then some of our, like the last page is some of our ongoing kind of the meat and potatoes of our programming department, ongoing activities that we do throughout the year. So take a look, I guess.
I just noticed my telephone number is wrong.
Pardon?
I said the telephone number
Oh.
is wrong
Good
for
thing.
me.
Do you want to correct that?
I don't have that one anymore.
Oh, I don't know where they pulled it. So this is well, your phone number being wrong would have nothing to do with what I'm going to say right now. But this is kind of a combination of the board, the city council. They get an orientation manual also. Mary Trentman gave it to me before she left, and we kind of cut and paste stuff out of that manual and put it in this one, and then we customized it to Parks and Recreation. So it has nothing to do with your phone number, but I will make a note here and I will correct that. I have your good phone number, so.
Okay.
Well, and we also thought if there's anything you think we might have forgotten, not necessarily the mistakes, but if there's anything you think that we didn't include that might help somebody new coming on the board, if you have any suggestions, we would definitely like to know them. We just were thinking that sometimes people come on boards and they're not familiar with all the parks that we have and all the activities that we have, just all of that. So we were trying to take this and make it somewhat short and sweet, if at all possible, But if we have forgotten anything, you need to let us know.
Yes. And any other phone number mistakes or anything else like that too, let me know.
Any other questions on this manual? I guess we take it home, read it.
Yeah, yeah, and you guys can call me, email me if you find
Any-
anything or
any
want to add anything,
suggestions?
just let me know.
Okay. Should we let you know then, if anything? Okay.
Yeah, just let me know and
All right.
I'll be able to correct it.
Next is the additional soccer parking options.
So I don't have any fancy pictures to show you or anything like that. But today, this morning, I received 3, I guess, options from engineering on possibilities that may work up there. And I think I need to follow up with John Milgis, the Public Works Director. I think he wants to, I have estimates on what it would cost, but I think he wants to just see, kind of put it in a bid, because he's doing a bunch of other paving around town. Put it in a bid and just see what it comes back at, whatever option we select. So I didn't get a chance to sit down and look at them real in depth today, but Gavin, when we met up there this fall, it's I guess you would consider it kind of a hybrid of what we discussed. So it would be adding parking coming off that north soccer field parking lot there, down towards that pavilion. And we even have an option where that pavilion's set to be replaced anyways, and we don't really like where it is to begin with, where if we just move it out of the way a little bit, we can add some more parking there too. So depending on what plan we pick, all of them, for the most part, add quite a few spots in that area, which would be good. More spots than I thought we could cram in there. So really the decision then I think will be, I don't have any funds in our budget for this, to figure out if we do it, if the city can afford to do it, with asphalt this year, or like what we had discussed, what we discussed here last time, what I informed you guys about was to dig it out, the area out, and then fill it with those millings that kind of compact real well. You won't have parking lines like you do in the asphalt parking lot, but we could put parking stops where the concrete stops where the parking spaces would be, so, on most of them. So I will have those fancy drawings to you probably next month or later this month if we have it at the end of the month. So
How many parking spaces are you considering?
well, we
How
thought
many
we could
adding?
only cram about 30 additional in there, but I think what he was showing today, there were some options that had quite a decent amount more than that. I don't want to reveal any numbers because I don't want to be tied to those yet, but I'll get you the drawings that he sent out here. I want to digest them a little more. And there's a couple trees up there. One's in bad shape already, and there's another one we could try to move, and then we obviously could also plant some new trees too. So we would have to, depending on what plan we go with, kind of rearrange a few things up there, but it really doesn't seem to be a big deal.
Okay.
And is this something that he would put in with various bids to help maybe lower the
Right.
cost? I mean, that's the idea, right?
Yes, yes.
And when do those bids have to be out? I mean, like, will we have time to look at these pictures before?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you can give me a couple days, I'll get them to you guys.
Okay.
But yeah, he's going out this month for I think this month and maybe next month for different projects. So I think he wants to add these on to some other bid package just to see what the pricing is.
So the hope would be possibly that by summer, possibly, or by fall?
Just depend, I mean, I think if we do the millings, it would be possible by summer. With asphalt, it just depends on, well, one, funding, but two, the timing of the contractor.
Right. Okay, well, I'm just thinking that if we because Bob, right, they start in February? I mean, not that they're gonna be jam-packed in February, right?
It's small.
But if they know that there are plans in work, what we're trying to do, and in the meantime, try to save as much of that ground as we possibly can, and, you know what I mean? It doesn't happen overnight, but it's starting to happen, so that
Sure.
would be good.
That's good. Yeah.
That's all I had for soccer.
Any other
Parking.
questions or comments on the soccer parking options? Nothing else on the agenda.
No, but I'm going to tell you guys that 2 weeks ago on a Saturday, I turned on the TV. This was just amazing. And they had the Disc Golf National Championship. And it was in Tennessee. And it was women and then men. They were playing for prizes of $120,000. And I mean, I watched it for like 3 hours. It was truly an amazing thing. And they were talking, all in the commercials and everything. They're talking about all the disc golf courses. You know what I mean? So in my mind, I'm trying to figure out how we can mention Washington and, who to contact. And so, I mean, like how people watch golf, and it was disc golf. I was amazed, and it was really good. The only thing that down the road, they had a great water feature.
Oh,
It was great. I'm just like,
Well,
how can we take Bush Creek?
we have Bush Creek.
I
What
know,
more would
I
you-
know, but
what
I
do
mean,
you want?
I want to expand
line
on
running across.
it. It was really,
Well,
really.
wait till that creek floods, then we'll have water.
Yeah, when I started here, the water was like way, way high.
River's up. Big
Just saying.
Tessie, could that possibly be mentioned into the Missouri tourism,
Sure, sure, absolutely. Yeah,
Add
it
something
could.
else to the
It was,
Washington.
they were talking about, the rise of the sport throughout the country and all the new courses, you know what I mean? And it was like, I guess, a premier event like it would be for golf. But I mean, I'm sitting there thinking, down the road, we could have an event like that. I mean, our course there was one or two shots that they do that, we were trying to kind of make paths.
Oh, yeah.
They were throwing them through the tree. They didn't cut down a tree. You had to figure out how to get that saucer around and through and stuff like that. But it was really, I was mesmerized. It was,
Yeah, if you guys get a chance, it's not really mud, because most of it's on a hillside up there. That back 9, if you haven't been out there, I'd encourage you to go out and take a walk, just some
yeah.
warmer winter day. We got it real cleared out. It's not like you're hitting your head on tree limbs or anything like that. The paths are real clear, and it's a great use of that back property, how many acres that is, because it was unusable before, and now we're using the whole thing, like all 4 corners of it, the center. The whole piece of wooded area is being used, and so it's just really neat to see that piece of land kind of transform into something that's
I
usable.
guess it was this last weekend, and it was still in the 40s, like the low 40s, and I saw people up there playing the game.
Oh, yeah.
Up in, and that's in cool weather, they still can play,
Yeah,
I saw a group one morning when I was coming to work, and it was cold. A group it was a foursome, I'm just going to say, of older gentlemen playing, guys that were retired. They were out playing. It was like in the upper 20s, I think, when I saw them out there, like 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Outstanding. Any other great news? What else did you watch on TV, Tessa? Anything else?
I've been watching a lot
That
of
was it.
How to raise the money for water features.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just think we need a water feature, I'm telling you. We got to figure this
I
out.
make a motion, Tessie Stevens takes charge of that,
Yeah.
fundraising and all.
She'll want a fountain
rains, the
in
rain
Bush
come
Creek
up.
there.
Okay, no other questions or anything? Here comes your friendly reminder. Our next meeting is on Wednesday, January 27th. Now I'll call for adjournment. A motion by
I'll make,
Bob Kleppel, second
Seconded
by
by
Dan
Gavin.
Cassette.
I'll second. Oh,
Already got it?
never mind.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? See you later this month.
Hey, Ted,
All right.
maybe you could get one of Larry Pogue's
Sculptures.